Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ika Santia, and my friend but Mr. Surya Widodo and Miss Unica Miningse, we will present it about our article with title Capturing Student Mathematical Representation in Well-Structured Problem Solving. And introduction, mathematical representation is one of the important aspect in mathematics learning, and there is one of the predictor of student success in developing mathematical concept and mathematical problem solving. According to PISA and TMSS, Indonesian students have lower abilities than students for other countries to solve mathematics problem. And then this reality, in fact, students don't recognize the significance of mathematical representation ability and the finding of limited survey in the junior high school student in Kediri. The result that mathematical representation ability of junior high school student is still lacking, particularly in solving social arithmetic problem. Okay, many students struggle to solve social arithmetic problem due to the nature of the question. With the frequently utilized word problem, the necessitate the usage of various mathematical representation and the contradiction about the reality and the theory. So we have a problem. The purpose of the research to solve this problem to describe the multiple mathematical representation of junior high school students in solving ill-structured and well-structured problem. The research method is type of research is descriptive research with a qualitative approach and the case study methods. Participants were selected from 1,032 junior high school students in Kediri. As participant above is given ill-structured and well-structured problem. Okay, this test ill-structured and well-structured problem. So this data before given a test, and then the research participant declare to complete the problems where steps include analyze, browse, creating, decision making, and evaluation (ABCD). And then after their analysis about ABCD, we grouping into four groups, and then there the data after groupings. Okay, and then researchers choose one participant from the illustrated problem, and then we choose for 11 uh, person in this group 1 and one person from group 2. So we choose about two selected subject have relativity the same mathematics ability as with as well as good to communication skill. Furthermore, the two subjects we interview to obtain interview data, and this is collected and analyzed by indicator shown in table 4. This is indicator for the type 1 verbal representation, type 2 visual representation, type 3 symbolic representation, and type 4 is translation between multiple representation about verbal to visual, verbal to symbolic, or visual to symbolic. And the result, we know the first subject to illustrate problem solving. The her question, the so that the baking sheet and a cake, and then he throw a square of baking sheet and circle a cake for to it represent about the question, and then their her strategy to calculate this problem, and then we have the 11 cakes in the cakes books. This summary. Okay. But the structure subject for subject uh, says that the similar to the previous problem, but it's known that head of the cake baking set and cake box make it easier to solve. So the way that determine the number of cakes in the area, the base of the cake divided by 20. So we have a result that 22 cakes. Okay, and then we contracted both indicator of mathematical person instructors problem solving and indicator of mathematical representation in well-structured problem solving. In analysis states, we know that subject one, first subject, show that verbal to visual, and then the visual. But in the well-structured, subject one, first subject, so that analyze about verbal. And then the pro states, we know that verbal to visual, but the two indicator in well structured problem, we know that verbal, only verbal. Okay, and the same as for C and D and A. To get in a structured problem, he showed that verbal to visual, and the well structured problem, we show that indicator of verbal, and then a visual again. And then the second subject, in the first problem, illustrated problem, we saw reading the problem, and then he drew a rectangle with dimension of 40 and 32 about a stain, and the circular cake box with diameter of 30 centimeter. And then he asked to how to move each piece of cake in the circle. Next, he assumes that the height of the tin and height of the cake is the same. So we can the result that any 11 cakes in the solution for this matter. Yeah. And then to second subject in the problem well structured problem solving, he saw that information about the problem include height of cake, height of pen, and the cake box. The height of the pen is half the height of the cake box. So the question is how many cakes in the cake box. Methods include the first dividing the area of the cake by 20, and then the result is the number of cakes I get 235 kicks. Okay, and analyze about indicator in A, and instead of analyze in the illustrated problem, he showed that visual to visual, and then verbal in the first. So he showed the verbal and visual in the states analyzed. But about in the category of mathematics definition in well structure, he only saw that verbal in the states analyzed. And then in states of prose, he showed that the same of verbal to visual, and then visual. But in mathematical representation in well structure, he only states of verbal. And then to create decision making and evaluation at the same, in this illustrated problem, he showed that indicator of visual and visual verbal or visual. But about in the well structured problem, he only showed the verbal, and the decision making he showed the verbal to visual, and verbal evaluation verbal to visual. Okay, the conclusion of the result of the finding of the study of the form of the mathematical representation effect problem solving competition with a novel structure. And two, the second of student representation scheme is solving ill-structured questions, show that they tend to use visual, verbal, and verbal representation. And the last, the two students failed to solve the unstructured problem because the translation of their mathematical representation didn't appear to the occur. They can dissemble the source well representing the problem and determine the equivalence between the source representation and the target representation. Furthermore, future research will carry on by increasing the number of subjects and extending the research period to obtain a pattern of elaborating mathematical representation in solving ill-structured problem. Okay, this is finished. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.